Hey Mira, want me to throw that ball for you? Hey, so some of the things that I learned from the shakedown ride have led me to make changes on this bike. I'm going to kind of point out some of those and talk to you a little bit about why I made those changes. And yeah, so we're going to get right to it. We'll start up front. Big change is suspension. So here we have the Wren inverted fat bike fork. You know, a lot of time I've been riding, I didn't use a suspension fork. This is wide enough for the fat bike hub, the 150 spacing, but it does have suspension. The benefit of having it inverted is that even when I load it up with water like you see here, it doesn't affect as much the movement of the fork, because it's this portion that moves up with the bumps, not the compression down, which is what we do when we walk up to a bike in a shop and give it a little push. It's the other way around. That's how these forks work, keeping the bars nice and steady. And that happens with the inverted better than it does with the other style that we see on most bikes. Easy to service and easy to adjust. Pinion, that's a huge change for us, and the reason for the custom titanium frame with a belt drive. So 12 internal gears, same number of gears that we had before, a wider range, and also it's internal. So the reason for that is that it lasts much, much longer. And the same reason for the Gates carbon belt here. So last year we rode about 25,000 kilometers. In that time, I used, I think, 3 bottom brackets, and the 4th was getting a little iffy, or certainly you could tell that with about 4 or 5 chains. And on a bike this long, I need a little bit extra. So on the first time you buy a chain, you buy 2 and then keep those links. So there was the logistics of holding on to those links. And then Cog Sets. So in the back here, I just have 1, and it doesn't change all the time. And with the Cog Sets, they're very expensive with the SRAM 1x. And so it was a couple $1,000s just on consumable parts that wore out. This Pinion unit that I have, the P12, is a reconditioned unit, which is pretty amazing and unique in the bike industry that it can be repaired. So 600% range, so a wider range, more durability. Overall, in the time that we'll be riding, this will cost us substantially less than, say, a SRAM 1x. Now, I can't get the belts out on the road very easily, so I do carry a spare should I damage one, and then it just sits in here. There's a special way to fold it. Another thing I've done is from micro panniers, I've gone to just dry bags. And this setup basically runs volet straps around the rack and carries the custom dry bag from Porcelain Rocket. And then this little red thing here is just a cheap cutting board as protection. There is some vibration here, and that would wear through the dry bag, you know, at the tops here and those kind of spots. And then I do make sure that I don't pack hard things on the edges, certainly on the backs. Be careful about that. And then the other thing I've done is in the design of the bike, we've shortened the wheelbase a little bit better. And the reason for that was handling when Mira's not in the bike, to get the weight a little bit closer to where my mass is and provide better traction. It's very, very similar to what we had with the Salsa Blackborow. Yeah, I know. Time to throw. Yeah, and we also have a new custom frame bag from Porcelain Rocket. Scott was kind enough to produce one out of Dyneema here. So it's a unique looking, tough bag that will subtly change over time as it picks up the dirt and color of the terrain that we travel through, which both he and I like quite a bit, actually. This is a roll top design. Just simply pop these buckles and then it rolls out to access this way. Maybe one other small change is I've gone to doing the steel bottles now. I used to use the plastic pop bottles, which are great, carry a lot of water, but I was concerned that especially in this surface here, if I set down the bike, that I might puncture one of the bottles and then lose the water if I didn't notice, or be forced to scramble. And we travel in remote desert areas, and so water's a big concern. You're gonna be tired tonight.